3, 2, 1, and we're live. So there we go. Hello, and hello, Cynthia Rothrock. Thanks
Hi.
for being here. All the way from California. Now, it's very sunny there, it looks like, but I heard there was going to be snow.
Oh, yeah, it's raining really hard. I'm trying to get up to the mountains, but I think I'm not going to be able to do it for about a week. They're saying that it's the most severe blizzard storm that they've had in a long time,
Yeah.
that they're going to get snow at 1,000 elevation, which is insane. Usually it's 5,000 to 6,000.
Right. Of course, because, yeah, California's got the mountains, so you can snow in. It's actually skiing, and then you can go surfing in the same day, can't you? So, yeah.
If it's snowing up there, it might be a little cold surfing down here, but
still hotter than it ever gets here, I should imagine. Right. So let's put this. I'll put the link for your Kickstarter in the chat, so anyone else that joins can see it. All right. Okay. So yes. So first of all, we got Noth, who speaking Welsh to you, if you know any Welsh.
Oh, no, I don't.
He's saying good evening to both of us. So, and we've got Planet Hex. Evening all. And Al Lucard, he's from Louisiana. He's saying hello. And, oh yeah, there you go. Hello, Gareth and Cynthia. Hello, hey all from Gosama. Right. So yes, the link for the Kickstarter campaign is in there. And, oh, Mike's here as well. Martial arts legend indeed. A lot of fans here. Right, so yeah, if you want to talk about the Black Creek film that you were getting ready to do.
You know, after doing 70 films for other people, we decided it's finally time to do my own. I've always thought about it, but kind of procrastinated. Oh, it's a lot of work, you know. And then one day I just said, you know what, it's now or never, time to do it. And it started off with, what kind of movie do you want to do? And I said, a Western. You know, what's the plot? Okay, here's the plot. And then after about 6 months of going back and forth really hard on the script, we were happy with it. I sent it to my line producer. He read it and he was like excited, said, you know, I see so many action scripts. This is one of the best. So we're like, okay, we're ready to go. And let's do Kickstarter crowd fundraising to see how much we can get, you know, for the film. And we're so excited because we have 17 more days to go. We had a 45-day campaign, and we reached our goal within 2 days. And, it's interesting because Kickstarter is kind of like, you know, if you put like what I really want to get, you know, to begin production is 400,000, and you know, we've already put a lot into the film. Yeah, that's right. And you know, so it wasn't like 89 to do the film. That was our goal on Kickstarter. So we've reached that, and we're like halfway on our goal right now. And the more that comes in, the more we open up new things for all the backers. You know, 100% of this money goes into the movie. And now we're going for a couple extra shooting days, you know, that I'd like to put in. So obviously, you know, since this movie, Black Creek, is my vision, I want to have as many days as we can shooting, especially for the fight scenes, you know, because every time I've done a movie, they always promise, oh yeah, the fight scenes are you know, we're going to take our time. We're going to have the ending great, you know, and then it's like, oh, we got 20 minutes to do it, you know, and that's like not going to happen with this one.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
And then you've got a hell of a cast already.
Yeah, we do. You know, I'm still adding more cast members, but I'm so excited right now because, you know, when I did my film, I always, this is like a Western with a martial art twist to it that you haven't really seen before, you know. So I have like Richard Norton in it, Don the Dragon Wilson, Kevin Sorbo, Olivia Gruner, you know, and I keep adding more people. And the exciting thing is, you know, one of our incentives, we only have like 3 spots left, is for people can be in the movie and do a fight scene with either me or one of the other action stars. And we're going to have a couple days training for them to make sure that they're comfortable with the fight scenes, that it looks good. You know, we make them look good. Obviously, they got to look good for the movie. So I'm really excited. A lot of people have said this has been my dream, to do this, and that opportunity doesn't happen much for people. So I'm happy to be able to do this for a lot of people. At the same time, they're a backer in the film, and they receive a whole lot more. Exciting to see this happen for the people that are going to be in our fight scenes.
Yes, that'd be lovely. Very lucky people.
Yes.
So, and you're actually filming in the West?
Hmm?
You're actually filming it in the Wild West, or what was the Wild West?
Yes, old Tucson in Arizona. So we have a location there that's just a complete Western town. They have all the buildings, the whole block of buildings. They have the interiors. They have a corral. We bring in the horse wrangler. Yeah, so probably I think like 100% of the shooting will be in this town. So we won't have to like change locations all the time.
Well, that'll be good. That's nice. So yeah. So yeah, I'll pop the link in there again, just in case someone missed it. So everyone can join in already. If they haven't already. So yeah, because Olivia was on last month, and Richard Norton agreed to do this just before you announced he was in the next film, so he'll be promoting it next week, I think.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, it's funny because I got a new phone and I was trying to, message Richard to be in the film, and I just hooked up with him in Australia, and he was like thinking, "Oh, Cynthia's having a film, and she didn't ask me." And I was like, "Oh, I guess Richard doesn't want to be in the film. He didn't ask me." So we were both like, he's like, "Yes, yes." So, so very excited about that because I think a lot of people, have loved us together, and again, after so long time, the pair comes back together again. So I'm so excited to have Richard on board.
Yeah, because I think it's 11 films you've done with him.
I know. Oh, we've done so many. It's been a while, and the thing I'm excited about this is that, I know these people that I'm hiring can fight really well. They look really good. It's not like, oh yeah, bringing someone back from the past. I mean, everybody is in fit shape. I even say doing action better than they have. And, I wouldn't have them in my film unless I didn't know that the fight scenes are going to be phenomenal.
Nice. Yeah, that's certainly what's missing these days is a decent fight.
Yeah, exactly. And, sometimes like you don't know who you're fighting when you're doing other people's movies. And, I remember when I was doing the martial art kid, one of the things where I was like, make sure that people can fight. And they had this young boy in there that looked like he was 12, and I had to like sidekick him in the body. I was going, oh my gosh, I would break his body. And then I hit him in the face instead, and he couldn't react. So there's a scene in there where I say, go home to your mother. And that's because I put that in because I said, it's not believable, and about reality and making sure things look real. And on Black Creek, I'm bringing in a stunt team from Switzerland because I worked with them and I thought they were phenomenal. They added things that I was like, wow, just that little twist makes the whole fight scene different. So I'm excited to bring them over, and have them work with me on the choreography for the film.
Nice. So if all goes to plan and everything's done and it gets filmed, when can we expect the release?
Our target shoot date is I'm looking at November because Arizona, it's extremely hot. It could be up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And this takes place in the 1900s. So everybody is going to be having like a lot of costume on. So yeah, that's our target date. Our Kickstarter ends March 13th. So once I see, what that is and, plan B, do we need to have an investor as well? Can we make it alone from the Kickstarter? That's to be seen. But we will go into pre-production shortly after. Nice.
Yes, that's great. Because so let's have a look. Who's here now? I've got Rob's vintage video. He can't stay long, but have a great interview. Thank you. Jeff from 101 Bronson says good evening to us. Hello, Jeff. He's in the Netherlands.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was there not that long ago.
It's one of my other questions. You are a legend. That's true. Because have you been to the UK at all? Apart from conventions or something?
I haven't been to the UK in a while, but in May I just finished the Australian tour. I
Mm.
did about like 6 seminars. We did 2 screenings of Yes, Madam. Did appearances at video stores and doing the same thing actually May 1st in England. So I'll be doing different seminars, being at the martial arts show. So I'm excited about it. I've never done a tour like that, so it was fun, and especially like in Australia, every minute that we had free, we were doing some kind of adventure thing, or cuddling a koala or laying with a kangaroo. So yeah, there was like no. I know the promoter Dan Deltz is like still home sleeping.
Right. Yeah, 'cause I saw your pictures on the Australians. Now you like diving a lot. I've seen recently. You spend more time underwater than
I love
above it.
diving. I mean, one of the things I wish I could have did some diving in Australia, but our schedule was so packed, and I had to come back home because I'm about to shoot another movie in Mexico, and
Right.
I'll be in Baja for 6 weeks. So I needed some time to come home and prepare for that, and to do a couple interviews and promotions for Black Creek. So I didn't have time to dive, but I did visit a couple dive stores when I was there.
Nice. So let's have a quick look. Noss says, great westerns are few and far between. I'm looking forward to Black Creek. So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think this is like going to be historical, because if you Google female gunslingers, like Selma Hayek comes up, or Sharon Stone, nobody that has really, the fighting ability. So I think this is going to be huge. And just the combination of people that really know how to fight in a Western, with a whole different twist, a whole different movie story. It's, to me, I'm just so excited. I think it's something going to be new, different, and yeah, who doesn't love Westerns? Who doesn't love action? So put them together.
Yes, indeed. Because what was your favorite genre growing up?
My favorite genre? Well, Westerns, obviously, is my favorite. But I also like horror. I like horror movies too. So I could have easily said, I want to do a horror movie, but I didn't, and I think just with, I think watching Yellowstone, I love that. I think that's a brilliant character that Kevin Costner come up with. And that just, says, what, I've always wanted to play like Annie Oakley or some Western character, but now I got to create my own, Sarah Jennings or Rose Jennings, that I hope will be, historical. It's kind of like female Clint Eastwood.
Exactly, that'd be awesome. Taking out the bad guys. Will you be using squibs and stuff, or
squibs?
Yeah, will it be a bloody affair like Django Unchained, or will it be more subdued like the earlier Clint ones?
There's gonna be some gunplay. There's gonna be explosions, but most I really want to focus on is the hand-to-hand combat. Or incorporating weapons into it as well. So you're going to see a lot more of that, more so than the typical, gunfighting. But there'll be a little bit in it.
Right. So yeah, can't wait to check it out. We got fellow Welshman. Bumper movies. Just wanted to say China O'Brien was one of his favorite movies growing up.
Great. Now that you're grown up, I hope Black Creek will be your favorite.
Yes, indeed. Because it was about China O'Brien was where I was first introduced to you, because we only had a small video store and it only had the latest releases, so it didn't have the Hong Kong stuff. So it only had China O'Brien and the martial laws and stuff like that onwards. But yeah, indeed. Finally, a West. Looking forward to Western again. This sounds like it's going to be a great one. Yeah. So that's Mike, the real fifth Beatle. For blokes his age, 46, you were a massive part of his early teens. All right. Hang on. That's a duplicate. Yeah. So that's definitely what a cast already. So.
Yeah, and we're still, I'm talking to Billy Blanks right now, and there's a couple other people I want to put in. I wish I had more character leads. I have pretty much almost full, but getting there. And I think this cast is phenomenal. A lot of fans are saying, "Wow, it's like an Expendables cast." It's like, no, it's not, because it's completely different.
Yes.
It's just that people will recognize these actors and know them for their martial art abilities. So I'm just so excited to bring this to life finally. Guess so many years I've been thinking about it, just never did it. So
lovely opportunity. Planet Hex. Always good to see you, and Richard Timo, indeed. So yeah, but I was going to ask spoilers. Is he a good guy or a bad guy? But I'll leave it until I see the film because it's either way with him.
It's interesting. There are two characters he could play. One is a bad guy, and one is a good guy. So Richard it definitely is doing the movie, and he's deciding if he wants to be the good guy.
Have you ever played a bad guy? I'm trying to think.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, a few times. I was in Fast Getaway. I think I was a bad guy, and then one of the films, I forget what they called it. I think they called it Death Fighter. It was called White Tiger. I was a bad guy there. Not as often, as more the good guy.
Yeah.
And obviously in this one, the good guy, a good girl.
Mike from Dave Films. He's from the US. He's a Western fan, as you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. Very cool.
Authenticity makes immersion better. Yes, it is.
Yeah, and we're like I have to change my hair. Of course, it's got to be all one color because they didn't have colors. And so, we are really, really researching, authenticity for this, because it's the 1900s, and it's a lot of work. But I think once we finish with the film, it's going to be worth all the time and effort that you're putting into it.
Yeah. I'm talking of Australians. Here's one, the Ginger Ninja, all the way from Australia.
Oh yeah, I just came back from there.
Matt V. Moses, movies. Good evening. He's from the UK. No guessing where the Dutch film buff is from. Good evening to you and me.
A lot of film lovers out there.
A lot of film fans. Yeah. Let's have a look. There you go. He's hoping to get to the martial arts show to see you.
Yeah. That would be awesome because I haven't been to the UK in a long time. I don't even know how long. I know it's probably over 15 years that I've been there. So it'll be great to see my UK fans again.
There's plenty of them. So Eastwood fan for life. I've got a question. Is there a martial artist you would love to have appeared in a movie with?
Yeah, Jackie Chan. Because I grew up with Jackie Chan as my hero when I was a young kid, and I used to train with Shum Leong in New York City. After training, he would take us to Chinatown to watch movies, and the first movie I saw was Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, which was Jackie Chan's movie, and I used to try to copy his moves and come home and practice. I was almost in a film with him. I was supposed to be in Armor of God, but that's when he got hurt, and Golden Harvest postponed it for a year and a half. So in the meantime, I did Righting Wrongs with Yin View.
Ah. That's still a good film. Great film, isn't it?
One of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, it's got two endings, doesn't it?
Yes.
It had a happy and a sad ending.
Yeah, what happened was, in the first first version of it, I was killed and so was Yun Bu, and then they showed it in Taiwan and people went crazy. They're like, no, we don't want them killed. We don't want to see that. So then I was shooting another movie, and then they called me back and they said, hey, you have to come back and we got to shoot another ending where you both live. So now a lot of these movies are being remastered and put out in all different countries. And I think on the current one now, you could see both versions. You could see the one where we die and the one where we don't.
Yeah, because the one I watched the other night, you get drilled in the throat. So.
Oh yeah, I know that. I got that steel thing in my throat, and it was funny because I remember I had a picture of it and I sent it to my mom, and then I look, it's on the cover of the Scranton Times. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, why did you send that picture? I was just showing it to you, but I was like, oh well.
Yeah. Well, I guess it wasn't as widespread as the internet back then, which would have everyone would have seen it. But yeah. Okay, so if you could have gone back in time, would you have loved to have fought against Bruce Lee in a film?
Oh, of course, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have. He was good.
Yeah, I still feel, even today, Bruce Lee, had a charisma that it's very hard for actors to have, because it's not something you can study or do. It has to be internal. And he just had that. Like, if you think today, you know, when you see all the Bruce Lee lookalikes, or, you know, they try to copy him, it just doesn't work.
No.
Only you could make those sounds and those expressions, you know, and make it look really, really good. And I always think, you know, he had something that was special and different.
Yeah, I think one of the first martial arts films I saw, which I didn't realize it wasn't him, was No Retreat, No Surrender. So when he says it's Bruce Lee, my young man thought it was Bruce Lee. But learning these days, it's not Bruce Lee. And he didn't have the charm, as you said.
I did the sequel to that, which was a whole different movie.
Yes, not related. Well, none of the three of them are related, are they? But yeah, one of my questions about that one was, there's a bit where you jump in the river in obviously Thailand or wherever, Philippines, where you filmed it, and it doesn't look pleasant.
Yeah, no, that was not. I remember Yu Kuei said, okay, we're doing this scene. It's 3 hours away. You're going to jump into this river and have an explosion behind you. So when I say action, you have to jump in there, and the river is like really dirty and bad, but we can't get you to a shower till you get back. And I remember we were all like, oh my God. And the water was green. It was green.
Yeah.
And I was looking, I was going, oh, why is it green? And then we look out in the distance, there were buffalo peeing in the water, and they were peeing green. Shapiro Glickenhaus picked up that movie for distribution, and they were like, yeah, we just can't color correct that water. I'm like, no, that was the color of the water.
Yeah, I thought that. The other, I thought that does not look sanitary at all.
It does not, no.
But was it safe from crocodiles and leeches and eels? Right, let's have a look. Al's a horror fan, so yeah, he would love to see you in a horror film. So
yeah, me too. That's like my other thing. Who knows? Maybe
yeah,
I'll do horror. Yeah.
Let's have a look. So yeah, I was going to ask one of my questions instead of this. Right. So yeah, a lot of actors wish they could fight or beat up their directors, and you actually got to do it with Sammo Hung.
Yeah.
But I guess he was a nice guy, though.
Yeah, you know, he was great to work with. He's, you know, he's tough. He wants what he wants, and when he doesn't get it, he's not too happy. I remember when we were shooting Shanghai Express, that was my second movie, that he was in such a hurry to get that movie done for Chinese New Year's that we were working like 18 hours a day. And they'd say, okay, you can go home, but just shower and come right back to set. And you'd be sitting there like sleeping. And yeah, he shot it like quickly to Hong Kong standards, but it was tough. Everybody had to do their job like long hours and fast.
Yeah, it shows, because there's a lot of awesome fights, and everyone gets a go in that one, don't they?
Yeah.
So, is it true you scarred Richard Norton in The Magic Crystal?
Yeah, that is true. Again, it's another movie that we had long hours, and we had a fight scene, and I think we were shooting for about 20 hours, and I was coming in across with the sword, and Richard didn't duck, and boom, got him in the head, and he had to go out and get a couple different stitches. And it's funny because they go stitch him up, and then they throw a double in that doesn't look like him, and I'm fighting him, and then Richard comes back all stitched up. You know, I was like, oh, sorry. Yeah, so I guess he never will forget me for that one.
Yeah, constant reminder.
Back many times in film, so okay.
Yeah, I guess you've been fighting a lot, so he hasn't got back at you yet.
Quite a bit hard.
Let's have a look. After so many movies, what keeps you excited about making them?
I think because they're all different. You know, they're different. You have different casts, different stories. And I think it's, you know, you stay excited about things you love doing. And, you know, I love doing movies. I love martial arts. So it never gets old or tiring for me. It's always fun.
Nice. Yeah, as long as you're enjoying it, that's the main thing, isn't it? Cynthia in a Hanny Calder remake, paying homage to Raquel Welch in a revenge western would be awesome.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, but
no,
that's interesting. Yeah, that'd be filling some big shoes, like Raquel Welch.
Mike from the Savage Zombie Reviews. He's from the Isle of Man. Right. Let's have a look. Ah. So yeah, you've worked. Oh, you're one of the Duke cousins from Hazard County, aren't you?
Yes, that was actually a fun thing. They did the remake of the Dukes of Hazzard, after the show came out, and it was funny because my character, I think her name was Bertha Joe, right? And I was like one of the few people that weren't in the original cast, so they all
Yeah.
knew each other. But it was interesting just being on set with them. And I remember Bubba. Bubba was the guy I wanted to marry. Him and I were both in the office auditioning for the role, and he was sitting next to me. And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're going to play the guy I end up marrying." It was funny, but yeah, that was really, really fun for me, is to hear all the stories about the making of the Dukes of Hazzard, and everybody was so fun to work with. Actually, I'd love to get Catherine Bach in this movie, so she's someone I'm trying to see if they want to do a cameo in it.
Okay, hey. So Western, there's plenty of parts, isn't there? All right. Have you ever done any wire work?
Oh, well, a lot. Many, yeah. In Hong Kong, I did a lot of wire work. I did a little bit in the States, but
Right.
it was pretty common in Hong Kong. In Yes, Madam, and Righting Wrongs, and definitely I did a lot of wire work in Lady Reporter.
Okay, because is it Lady Reporter? Is that called Above the Law 2?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. They've called it Blonde Fury.
There's so many names I've seen it under.
It's funny because when you do a movie and it goes to a different country, that country could change the title. Like, I think I've had so many Lady Dragons, Yes, Madams, that we don't really know what the title is. It just changes. But
all right.
A lot of intense, pretty dangerous wire work in Lady Reporter, especially in the scene where we're fighting on that big net.
Yeah, because I think my first stunt yours is I was at Yes Madam, where you pole onto the wall and you stay on the wall and then leap back out.
That was crazy because they had like a little hole in the wall, and I did the cartwheel and I hit the wall with my foot, but then I had to go. They put this little ledge on the wall, and I was like in a split position, but the foot was over my head. So it wasn't in the wall like this. It was like this. And then on action, I kicked up and they pulled me through the wall with my waist. So I was like flat against the wall in a split. And then they said to me, "Oh, okay, well, can you stay there for a little bit? We need to change the camera." And I was thinking, yeah, I could do this. And I was there for a very long time. And I couldn't walk for 3 days. I was so sore after that because I think I was on the wall for about over an hour.
Yeah. I can understand that being pinned to the wall. Yeah. For an hour. Oh, that'd be uncomfortable. Right. Oh, hang on. So let me put that up. There we go. Just so I can get to the chat. Right. Where he loves both China O'Brien movies. Any chance? Number 3.
There could be. I was talking with George Chung, who is the CEO of Jungle Plus, and we're talking about doing some projects together. And one of them is trying to secure the rights for China O'Brien 3, because I think it would be awesome, because so many people love that movie. And it was like one of my first movies to do. Definitely was like one of my first English speaking pictures. And I think now, that we've come so far, we could do it a darker, grittier China O'Brien, like after 30 years. So that's something you possibly could be seeing in the future.
There you go. Is it China O'Brien was the only film you've broken a bone on?
What's that?
Is that the only film you've broken a bone on, China O'Brien?
Yes. Yeah, I broke my finger on that.
Right. That's not bad. Because and then the other thing is, that's not you on the cover, is it?
That is not me on the cover. No. I don't know why they do that. Again, I don't have control over what they do. And I remember, if you look at, there's a cover of which movie was it that I did? A Prince of the Sun. They put my head on a man's body, and his arm is like bigger than my whole entire body. And I'm like, do you think that's good looking?
Yeah, I don't-
I don't know what happened with that. That's really weird. And there's other posters where a girl's like this, you know, and it's
yeah.
me, and it's strange. It's very strange. Other
Yeah, who knows what the marketing department's up
they
to.
don't have the rights to the picture or something, so they got to use their own.
Okay. What's your favorite Western? Jeff says, Once Upon a Time in the West, but there are so many great ones.
There's so many. I love the old spaghetti westerns. You know, I love the ones. You know, I love the Clint Eastwood ones. You know, I like the old John Wayne ones, and I like the new ones. I mean, I love Yellowstone. I'd have to say that's probably one of my favorite shows. I usually don't watch TV a lot, but when COVID happened, I started watching it, and I have to say Yellowstone is definitely up there. You know, for one of my favorite westerns.
See, Al was introduced you in Fast Getaway, and then went back to your early work. What was it like working with Corey Haim? Because you did 2 with him, didn't you?
Yeah, Corey Haim was great. He was like 19 years old, you know, when we did that movie, and you know, he was a little bit of a rascal. I remember I had this scene with him where I had to kick him in the chest, and I asked him to put a pad on because I had high heels on and they're spiked. And he goes, no, I could take it. I says, well, you're not going to hit me hard. I said, no, but you know, with a spike heel, even if I just go like that, you're going to feel it, because, you know, I didn't want him to say it was hurt. So we did the scene, you know, I just tapped him. He didn't put a pad on, but I just like lightly like touched his shirt. So we go to the set the next day, and everybody's giving me this dirty look, and I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, you punctured Corey's lungs with that kick. And I went, what? I said, do you know how hard I'd have to hit him to puncture his lungs? And then they said, well, we can't shoot today because he's not coming in. And then I went back to the trailer, and I'm walking around, and I see him dancing to some music, you know, and I'm like, Corey, what's going on? He goes, oh yeah, I just said that because I didn't want to work today. I was like,
oh right.
God.
Oh, nice.
In trouble here.
So yeah, when you did the Hong Kong films, you couldn't speak the Chinese or whatever in the film. Could you understand it? Because surely all the cast and crew would be talking it as well. So how did you get your directions for those?
You know, I didn't understand anything when I first went there. And then the more I worked in Hong Kong, the more I sort of developed some kind of sign language or intuition that I knew what they were telling me to do. But my first film, they didn't even tell me hardly what the movie was about or what some of the scenes were about. Like I know there's a scene in Righting Wrongs where they go, oh, just walk in and put your badge on the counter, you know. And then I realized afterwards when I saw the movie, I got fired. Or like when I was doing the Magic Crystal, Wang Jing says, just look up at the ceiling. And I said, why? He goes, oh, it doesn't matter, because he spoke a little bit English. So I'm looking up and I'm counting like the holes up there in the ceiling. And then I see the movie and we're invaded by aliens. I was like, don't you think that would have been an important note to tell me? You know, to say, don't worry. Yeah. So then when I started doing English movies, it was like, oh my God, I can understand what they're saying and what's going on.
Nice. Also, well, look. Recently, he found the German DVD of The Blonde Fury. I haven't seen it over 3 decades. Amazing fight, Mrs. Rothrock, and some incredible stunts.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite movies for fighting. The fighting was just incredible. And then after we shot the movie, right, I went and I think I was shooting China O'Brien, right, at the time. And then Golden Harvest said, we want some more scenes. So they brought in Yun Kuei to shoot another couple weeks of fight scenes, you know, so they added more in. And, you know, I love the fight scenes there. I think they're brilliant. You know, the ladder scene where I'm fighting with the heels and the skirt on, and fighting with he was the current champion Muay Thai boxer, and he didn't speak English, he didn't speak Chinese, and he was tough, and all the stunt people were going, ooh, I don't want to fight him, he's so hard. And he was so hard, they made me metal arm guards, right? So then we're fighting, and now he's getting hurt because I have the metal arm guards. So they make him metal arm guards. So we're fighting metal on metal. So every time, and you don't hear it because it's filmed with no sound. Clink, 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 clink. Metal to metal.
Nice. Because, yeah, I'm trying to think what's it. Was it Right and Wrong when you do that leap on the stairs and it's like shown about 3 different angles? And it's like a mile jump onto the lady that's escaping.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, which leap on the stairs? There were so many.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I
stairs, isn't there?
remember they had me go up to like, oh my God, it was like a 10th floor. It was so high up. And then about 10 feet over, they built this really tall platform and they wanted me to jump from there to the platform. And I was like, oh my God, there was no safety bags or nothing. So they were just standing there ready to catch me. And I just kept thinking, oh my God, what if I miss it? I'll fall like to my death. Really. That's how
Sure.
high it was. And I jumped so hard, so strong, I almost overextended the platform. And the guys were all like, we're all trying not to fall on there. But it's interesting because like the stunts there are so dangerous. And in America, they wouldn't even let me do something like that. Do that. But yeah, so that was probably one of the crazier stunts I've done.
One, yeah. One of the many.
Yes.
Just again, yeah, no retreat, no surrender 2. Matthias Hughes picked you up off the floor by your neck. Did he do that for real, or was there some help involved?
No, I was actually wired. So when he picked me up, the wire actually was.
I know he's strong, but
It was strong. But not that strong.
right. Oh, Sean Blue Digital. Hello, everyone. So, hello, Sean. Have you ever worked or would like to work with Chuck Norris?
Yeah, I would love to. I don't know. I don't think he's doing too many movies these days.
No.
Probably not going to happen, but I almost did. His brother Aaron was shooting one of the movies, and he asked me if I wanted to be in it, and I said, "Oh yeah, of course." And then I wasn't in it, and I was like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, Chuck said that this wasn't a great role for a woman. They actually put a guy in it." So I don't know, but it was close. Almost did. But Chuck is a good friend of mine. He's really a great guy.
Yeah. Oh, Jim's here. He's got a question I was going to ask you. What are your thoughts on the Mortal Kombat character Sonya Blade being based on you?
Yeah, well, during that time, they didn't want to use me because they have to pay me a lot of money and they didn't want to pay anybody. So they just took my likeness and copied it, and they did the kick that I designed, I made up, the Scorpion, Rothrock, Sting, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I probably could have sued them, but I'm not that kind of person. So I just let it go. And like, it's sometimes people do sneaky things, and in the film business, and that was pretty sneaky.
Yeah, because I guess they probably weasel out of it anyway, saying it's not you, it's just a
Exactly. But
you
it looked like me, and it was my moves,
Yeah,
So.
be like legal limbo for years.
Yeah.
There you go. Would you like to star in a Marvel movie, maybe in the sequel to Shang-Chi?
Oh, I would love to. I love the Marvel characters as superhuman. It's funny. Probably, I want to say like 25 years ago, I met with Stan Lee.
Ooh.
And he was talking about doing something, and I know he was saying, "You think she could be Wonder Woman and this and that?" And nothing ever happened to it. But yeah, I would love to be something. Would love to play like a character that has supernatural powers, or just not an everyday character, someone that is bigger than life character.
Right. Yeah, because they are all the rage now, aren't they? So. And we've got our first person that wants to ask you in person, if that's all right. So,
sure.
Andrew from Planet Hex. Good evening.
Hello, Cynthia.
Hi there.
You're all right. I have you here with me. I'm a huge fan. I have been for many years, to the point where, as a teenager in the 90s, I tried to write a movie I was going to send you. So I was about 14 thinking I need to write something for Cynthia. So I had to tell you that. So thank you for coming to talk to us tonight. This is really, really nice of you. I have a question.
Sure.
I've put many in the chat, but I wanted to do this in person. So thank you, Gareth. When working on the script for Black Creek, what were the most important qualities you wanted to put into the character you'll be playing?
I wanted her to be really, really tough, but at the same time, there's a lot of bad stuff that happens in the film. It's a very dark, gritty. You're going to be shocked, like just, you know, seeing some of the stuff that we with, but you know, at the same time you could feel what's going on, like all this bad stuff, but it's not like, you know, she's more tougher, and you could see what she's dealing with. And I think it's going to be like a known female gunslinger, you know, that, you know, can fight, can do guns, can you know, have a great acting part. Made sure like the lines were good, that, you know, that yes, this feels right, this feels right. I mean, a lot of work went into the script over and over to let's change this, let's change that, you know, to finally it's like, yeah, we got it. So I'm excited about it. Kevin Sorbo, when I sent him the script, he wrote back saying that opening, and he went, "Sheesh."
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
That is good, because you know, I was saying that this movie Black Creek is what I like to see in films, and like how I like to see the characters' development, the things that happen, you know, and it's dark. I like dark films, you know. There's no comedy in it. It's very, very, very serious, and I think everybody's gonna like it and be shocked at a few scenes.
Excellent. That's great to hear. I do have one more quick one that I have popped in the chat, so I'm just going to steal a bit more of Gareth's time. I do apologize. How do your multiple roles in this as producer, writer, and lead influence each other? Did the three influence each other at all in how you would approach it?
Yeah, definitely. Because to me, if you're going to do your own project, you have to do it right. And that's getting involved in the character and the script, and then producing it, like getting the cast you want, the locations you want, and acting is like being the character that you want. So it's all, you know, synonymous with one another. You know, they all come together. And I think in the past, you know, I only was the actor, so you would just go in, do your job, and then that would be it. But this time, there's a whole lot more. As you're going to make sure that everything is the way you want it. You know, so it's. I had a little bit of anxiety when I went on to Kickstarter. I was like, oh my God, what if we don't make our goal? Or,
I've seen how far that's gone. That's so impressive.
It's gone, isn't it?
And now I have anxiety. Is like, okay, now we got to get all the parts together. But, you know, everything is, to me, it's a blessing. And it means that this is definitely should happen, because everything is falling in place exactly how you would want it to.
You've got a great cast and everything there. I'm sure you can pull it off. So good luck with it all. I'll be watching.
We have some more surprises coming too. So.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time, Cynthia. Thank you, Gareth, for letting me invade your space there. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let's get back to this. So yeah, Ben Grimm says, "What's your wildest fan encounter?" You probably get those daily.
Oh, I have a lot. I would say like stalkers. They have a couple stalkers, you know, that's bizarre, like that. They get nasty, you know, they get mad at people, like on Facebook, like my friends, you know, and that's, I guess, one of the not so nice parts of being in the business, because I'm a very positive person and I don't like being negative, but sometimes, you know, you have to. So, you know, I feel for all the fans I have. It's just minimal that you get like some weird encounters. But yeah, you know, you it's just part of it, and you just got to learn how to deal with it in the proper.
That's a shame, but okay, hang on, where's that one? I've lost the link. There it is. Right. So we got a very big fan, Sid from Cool Movie Ground.
Hey.
Hi there.
Hey, people. I'm honored to finally be in the presence of someone as amazing as Cynthia Rothrock. I mean, I remember the first time I saw her was in, I think it was Righting Wrongs, which released as Above the Law in the UK. Yeah. I saw you in the trailer. I had it on the VHS for Police Story 2. I said, I need to get this movie. She looks like a badass. And coincidentally, I saw that movie. Then a week later, China O'Brien was on TV. And me, as like maybe, I think I was about 10 or 11 years old, I thought, this woman is flipping incredible. I thought, wow. And then I saw that documentary, The Very Best of Martial Arts. And, you know, the fact you learn about your background. And I thought, wow, she's she's worked with some of the big names, and then of course the fact that you worked with Sammo Hung, almost with Jackie Chan, and it's just amazing. Now my question is that if I know that you were almost, more or less signed to work with Jackie Chan in Armor of God, but then that whole Yugoslavia incident kind of put an end to that, then if there was an opportunity for you to maybe work with either Jackie Chan or even Michelle Yeoh once again, would that be on the table? I mean, would love to see that again, especially the way that you and Michelle Yeoh actually dominated in Yes Madam. That fight scene is just like still one of the best martial arts fight sequences put to film. And I would love to have seen that more of that, especially the chemistry that you and Michelle had. I think that you guys made an awesome team, and I thought I would love to see that again.
I would love to see that too. That would be awesome. I think because we did that movie back in 1985. So what is that, like almost what is it, 40 years? Whatever. And we're both, fighting and still good and still in shape. I think it would be awesome.
Amazing.
And you know what I think? I think it's also like a good inspiration for people, because a lot of people, are hung up on age, and I think
it's never about age.
Yeah, and it's inspiring. Like, I think if you like stay healthy and you stay fit and you have the right mindset, you can just go on forever and ever. And like, I feel like business and, I feel actually better than then, so I think something like that for people to see.
Okay.
No, I actually showed my daughter. She's 10 years old. I remember I showed her clips of your movies, and she was enthralled. She thought, "Wow, this woman is awesome." She kicks ass. I thought, "Wow, the fact that she shares her birthday with Michelle Yeoh, she kind of like, wow, this is really cool. That these women actually can kick ass." And I thought, that's really cool. And I'm thinking, you do inspire a lot of people, and even now for a younger generation, especially with this whole kind of like big surge in female-led action movies that's kind of like revived once again. Like maybe post Kill Bill, there's been a lot more female-led action movies being made in Hollywood for some reason, but it kind of has brought it back to, like, for example, Atomic Blonde was pretty much, I would say that was a love letter to yourself and your movies. But I think that it's good to see that they actually kind of like bringing back really real action. But we'd love to see more of that too, and especially from yourself. I mean, the fact that you're still in great shape and you're able to kind of do a lot of great stuff on screen. I'd love to see more of you, and even if it means you could see you in Hong Kong movies again. That's where the badassness was.
I know. I would love to. I would have tried to get Corey Yoon for this project. That would have been a dream of mine. But I hear
that would have been awesome.
He's having some health issues, which is unfortunate. To think back, that he took a chance back when women weren't even, thought martial arts were still a man's sport or something, to take a chance to have two female leads and have the movie become successful. And I mean, look at it, it's being remastered now. So how awesome is that? You could take a movie that was made in Hong Kong, all that time.
Nobody has ever kicked Sammo Hung as hard as you have at the end of Millionaires Express. I mean, he's fought some really big kickers like Billy Chow and all those other guys. But that kick that you delivered and his head just bashing against the counter, that no one's hitting that hard. And your commentary was awesome. And I thought, she hit him.
I know. Yeah, I'm pretty tough, I think.
Defo, I wouldn't mess with you.
No, all right. All right. Thanks, Sid.
Peace out.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Because, you were the first Caucasian woman to play a lead in a Hong Kong film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was
I say thank you to Corey Yoon to have that vision, to bring a Caucasian woman over there as a lead. It was and when I first came, I remember everybody was trying to treat me with kid gloves, here's this white girl that does a little bit of martial arts. Little did they know that I was a world champion in fighting. And once I saw the moves I could do and that I was willing to do anything they told me, I earned their respect. So I think, it was a good choice, a good woman to bring over there that just hung in there. Whatever they threw at me, I did.
It certainly showed on screen. It was amazing. Mr. Bones, holy crap. He's a huge fan of us. Didn't expect to see you tonight. Here we go. If you could predict in a martial arts fight between Norris, Seagal, and Van Damme. I guess.
We're talking about when they're in their prime.
I guess, yeah. 89.
Norris. Norris was the real champion, and he was a really good fighter, and I mean, even now, I don't know how old he is. I think he's in his early 80s. He probably could still kick some butt now too.
Yeah, he'd take me out quite easily.
Yeah.
Because so in many of your films, you've ridden horses, bikes, and then even flown a helicopter in Never Cheat, No Surrender 2. Can you do any of those skills in real life?
No, not fly. I have jumped out of airplanes.
Yes.
I kind of like extreme adventure, so I kind of challenge myself with adventurous things like trekking to Mount Everest, to Patagonia W Trek, to Machu Picchu, to scuba diving, like diving to the Blue Hole. So I'm always looking for adventure, but flying a plane, it's funny. Like one of my only fear is turbulence on a plane. I do not like them. I just flew back from Australia. It was bumpy the whole time, and I'm like, this is fine. This is okay. You're fine. So that I don't think I will be adding to my repertoire of adventures.
Yeah. I know, was it Olivia? He flies a plane, doesn't he? A helicopter around.
Yes, he does. He does. Yeah.
I've seen some of his videos of going around. Al's saying, what was the hardest fight or stunt you had to deal with in your career?
I would say it was in Lady Reporter, and I had to go to a second-story building. I had heels on. I had a fake baby in my arms, and I had an explosion behind me. And Corey Yoon said, when I say action, you better jump because the fire is going to hit you. Well, he was standing below, and he said, hey, look up at that building. Can you jump from there to here? And I'm looking, and it didn't look that scary. And I said, yes. And then when I got up to the building and I looked down, oh, my gosh, that was a different perspective. And then I had to jump onto cardboard boxes with the mattress over it. And he said action, and I felt the fire coming, and I jumped. And I wasn't a stunt person, I was a martial artist, and we don't know how to jump off a 2-story building. So I landed on the mattress, and I fell on my butt, and I hit myself in the nose. I almost broke my nose, like, tears were coming out of my eyes. And I was like, oh my God. And then Corey Yoon said, oh, there's something wrong with the camera. We have to do it again. Now my heart is like beating like that. And then when we got done, then I had to go because they cut it. They have you jump and then they cut it because obviously they're not going to show you landing on cardboard boxes. So then they put me on a 10-foot ledge, and I had to jump from there with a fake baby in my hand and my heels on, and I couldn't like flounder like that. I had to stick it really straight. So I did that probably about 15 times. Then I went home and I felt dizzy. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I should go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, and he said, yes, you jumbled up your internal organs. And I was like, what? I mean, what does that mean?
Yeah.
100 little Chinese pills to take, right? And I was like, okay, but that was a pretty scary stunt. I went home thinking I was dreaming that someone stole the film, and I had to do that scene again. Something happened where you lost it, because now I knew how dangerous it was as well. But that was one of them. I mean, there are so many of them. I think I should write a book on like the adventures in Hong Kong filming. But I guess that's the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, I can see why you remember that one.
Jumbled your organs.
I'm sure what the recovery from that is, but. Ricky from Old AF Reviewers, who is the best martial artist you fought on screen?
Well, obviously, most of the people I fought, I've enjoyed. But I would say the best one probably was Yun Bu, because we had the same kind of timing and fluidity that everything just worked. Sometimes you work like with Wang Zhang Li, our timing was different, so that was a little bit harder. You know, I also like fighting with Richard Norton, you know, because I always know that every time we fight, it's going to be tough and it's going to be a strong fight and people are going to like it. So it's all about, you know, how you mix with the other. So, yeah, I mean, the fight scenes were brilliant with Yun Bu, and also they were very easy for both of us to do, because we were on the same way, I guess, same way of fighting.
Right. Okay. Jim's asking, what got you into the world of martial artists?
I read that as, what in the world did you do?
Yeah, I read that as well. Why did you want to be a martial artist?
I started when I was 13, and I kind of was always an out-of-the-box kid. Anything, and still today, I like to do anything that's off the beaten path, that's unusual. And I saw some people doing martial arts, and I was like, whoa, what is that? And they're like, yeah, we're learning how to defend ourselves with our hands and feet. I thought, wow, that's unusual. So I told my mom, I said, I want to sign up for karate. So signed up when I was 13 and never stopped till this day. I'm still learning, still practicing, still teaching seminars, still doing movies.
Yeah, lovely. Because I've got zero coordination and rhythm, so I tried it, but I was never any good at it. So that's my excuse.
That's the thing, you know, I tell a lot of people, like, a lot of people say, oh, I tried it, but you know, I didn't do it. And that's one of the things I've learned from martial arts, is not to give up, because when I tried it, I didn't like it, actually. It was hard. I was 13 years old. I'm the only girl in the class. I'm with all these guys. Oh, I can't shout. I can't punch. You know, the first class, someone kicked me in the head free sparring because I had no idea what that was. And my teacher's like, don't block with your head. That's not a good block. They tried to get me to break half a board. Now, breaking a board is easy, but once it's broken in half, and these are those thick boards, I thought toe, I had shin splints. I was like, oh my God, this isn't what, you know, I really thought this was going to be about. And then one day my instructor gave a speech that stuck with me for the rest of my life, is that quitters are losers. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm quitting. I have a bad attitude. So I changed my attitude. And once I changed my attitude, everything just started getting easier. And, you know, I've done hip hop classes with my daughter, and it's really hard at first, but I know that the more you stick with it, the more you practice, you'll get it. And don't worry about being inferior to someone else or looking stupid. You just go in and try. And as long as you keep trying, you'll get it. So maybe you should try it again.
Maybe I should. Thanks. Where did it go? Oh, chat's jumped. I saw a question I wanted to ask. So what's the best thing and the worst thing about doing a fight scene?
I think, well, the worst thing is getting hurt, obviously, which you do. You know, I'm being an action star and really doing tough fighting. It's not, you're going to get hurt, you're going to get bruised. So it's just part of the job. The best thing is that I like seeing the overall project, you know, fight is like. It's funny because one of the things I don't like to watch is action movies, and that's because I'm too critical. I'm looking at that going, oh, that person's foot was in the wrong position. Break your wrist like that, or oh, that was a miss, or that doesn't work, you know, and I'm too critical. So when I do see an action picture that the fighting is good, I love it, but I shy away from a lot of them because of that. And I think the best thing is seeing it, see it on screen and go. If you could look at it and go, wow, that was good, then you know that was good. Because I'm so critical of myself as well, you know. And since I've been studying and I've been teaching martial arts all my life, I'm such a making sure that technique is right. So I always, you know, when people do wrong technique, I don't like that.
Okay. We've got Tariq from the Lockdown Stash. Hey, it's great to see you on here. He is the youngest of 6 children, and his introduction to you was the Shanghai Express. He must have been 6 or 7 years old, and he was completely blown away. Yeah.
Awesome that you were at 6 or 7. That's like pretty darn good.
because you don't really turn up properly until about an hour into that one, do you? And then it's the big fight in the town, in the hotel.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I haven't watched that film in a long time.
Because I remember at the beginning you stood up on a horse.
I remember, like, that's the first time I met Richard Norton. Was on that.
Of course, yes.
And I actually blew out my knee, my anterior cruciate ligament. I blew it out completely. Couple weeks before we went to shoot, and I got there and I said, Richard, I can't kick on my right leg. And Richard said, oh my gosh, I just came from the Philippines and I have a major infection and I can't kick on my left leg. And we're going, oh my God, we gotta tell Samuel Hung that, you know, your two stars are injured, but you can't tell on the film either way. Yeah, so, and then they were like, I didn't know much about filming. It was my second film. And they're like, okay, this takes place, you're Confederate Army. And we're like, the Confederate Army? Okay. And they give us these costumes, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, you got to wear 3 shirts and 3 pair of pants because it's winter. So here I am thinking, oh, okay, you got to be real. Never thinking that, well, I look a little fat because I have 3 shirts on and 3 pair of pants. And you don't know because you can't see them to say, hey, I don't need to put all these clothes on. But Richard kept sweating and they kept bringing a hairdryer because they only had one outfit to dry his armpits. It's like, oh, crazy. It's, you know, I have to write a book about filming.
Oh, yes.
There's so many funny stories.
Absolutely. Because I think, Andrew that was just on said they could call it breaking boundaries while breaking faces. Copyright that one quick.
Yeah.
That was one of my questions, because fighting in costumes, does that limit you? Because like in Prince of the Sun, you have like a monk's costume on and it's like big and puffy and out, and then you're trying to fight with all these people in the outside and protecting the kid at the same time. But is it restrictive, or are they made so you can move completely free in them?
Yeah, you know, sometimes I do films where they give me pants or shoes that I can't fight in, that's not comfortable. And, you know, you want to have something that you could fight the best of your ability. Like, you know, when you have pants that's too tight and you go to do a kick and it goes right in the crotch, like not moving. So yeah. I'm so excited to do my own film, Black Creek, because I know the costume's not only going to look good, but it's going to be, you know, where I can move like 100%, not like 20%.
Sure. Yeah, I've always wondered, you've stayed in great shape. What are your do's and don'ts in your regime, and how they change over the years was going to be my question.
Yeah, well, you know, I've always worked out. Ever since I can remember, I always liked physical activity or physical exercise. At one point, I used to teach aerobics. I actually, even before Billy Blanks, I came up with a program called defensive aerobics, but never really put it out there. But that was my idea, is to incorporate martial arts in that. I think, you know, today I do a lot of hiking. Of course, I scuba dive. I walk my dogs all the time. I do hot yoga every day. And I like that because it really makes me sweat and keeps me flexible. So the do is like, you know, stay active. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you're active and your body stays fit. The don'ts, I guess, they would be like to, you know, not move and be sedentary and kind of watch what you eat. You know, I think I'm pretty good diet wise. You know, I try to stay away from desserts, but I do eat them occasionally. You know, I do like coffee. Oh yeah.
There you go.
You know, but like now I'm March 14th, I leave for Mexico to shoot a movie. So now, you know, I'll bump up the exercise a bit. I'll cut out the carbs a little more, you know, just to, you know, get like a little bit leaner. I can't say better shape because I always kind of stay in shape, but maybe, you know, cut out a little bit of the pizza or pasta.
What's your favorite country that you filmed in, that you've had like time off to explore or something like that while other stuff's happening?
That's hard. I have to say Greece was really exciting for me when I was filming The Magic Crystal.
Yes.
We had 11 days of shooting there, and I shot 11 days. And Richard Norton was in that, and he had 1 day of shooting, and he had 10 days to sightsee. I was so jealous. We shot like at the Parthenon. You know, we were on a speedboat in the water. So I got to sightsee a bit while I was shooting, but it was exciting for me to shoot in there. And also Nepal was very very interesting for me to shoot in as well.
Okay. Oh, Al's got one of my questions because you've done 3 films with Godfrey Ho, I think. He's prolific.
It's so funny because I just did a Q&A on a screening, and everybody asked about Godfrey Ho.
He is famous.
Godfrey Ho, I love Godfrey, but he does have some strange methods of shooting. We did a couple movies, Undefeatable, I think, In Honor of Glory. But he's kind of like, for example, my sister died in one of them, and she's in a coffin, and I'm looking at her crying. And the lady that played my sister had to leave to go to work, and there was an empty coffin there. So Godfrey would put his hand there and go like this. And he wanted me to look at this face like this, that this was my sister. I don't know why he does this. He'll go, look here. And then he's going like this. It's very distracting. And I was like, Godfrey, can I please have a body there? It's very hard to act to this. So, he has some bizarre shooting methods.
Right. Okay. Back to Troy then. Now, with all these absolute classics being fully restored on Blu-rays, it gives us old school fans the opportunity to talk about these films in such high regard and introduce them to people who have never seen them before. Yeah, so like Sid from Cool Moviegram and Lockdown Stash have YouTube channels where they're showing off all the martial arts films of the yesteryear.
Yeah, it's really exciting that they're coming out, and all the time. I'm actually tomorrow doing one for Undefeatable, but that these companies are remastering them and they're on Blu-ray, and now they look great. And I think it's so exciting to be introduced to a whole new generation of people, because the fights were so good then. It's not CGI. It's not a lot of doubles. It's people physically doing that action and making it work on budgets that were like minuscule compared to like Wonder Woman, $150 million budget. If I think I did one movie that was $1 million budget, that was it. It was like much smaller. So for something to be popular today that was back then with all the modern technology, it's awesome. It's awesome because it's just you fighting. So if you do a movie like that and you've taken like an actor that just learned martial arts like for the screen, it wouldn't work. Because you don't have the CGI and you don't have like all the doubles that that look identical to you. It's crazy. So I'm excited that these are coming back again. And one of the things I always wished is that my Hong Kong movies would get a U.S. distribution, because they were popular more in Asia and Europe. But unless you were in a Chinese video store, you haven't seen those films here. So it's exciting that they're being remastered.
That is, they look great because like you said, they can make them look great, and you don't see all the joins of the CGI or the wires or the blue screens. It's all just people there fighting. It's awesome. Are you okay for a few more questions?
I am. Okay.
Right. Any hope of another Tiger Claws? One of his favorite trilogies.
I don't think so, but you never know. I mean, that would probably be Jalal Merhi because he owns the rights. But I think it would be kind of cool because they were very successful. People love them. They love the mystical part of the Tiger Claws. So like anything, any of those movies that were done in the past with new technology, new filming, I think, we could make them even better, like a third one. And usually when you do a sequel or you do, a third one or even a fourth one, they're not as good as the original, but I think we could do better now. So there's hope that any of those movies that were quite successful in the past could be quite successable now.
Yeah, sure. Because you've got a few franchises on the go, haven't you? Really, Martial Law, and then you got I
know. Best Getaway, China O'Brien. And that's a good thing because most of the movies I've done always had a sequel. And that's good because that says they made money. So they did another one. So it just shows the success of those films.
Yeah, because I was speaking to David Worth last week or the week before, and you did the Lady Dragon films,
Mhm.
and then did you appear as yourself? Was it in that American Fighters with Sam Jones?
Yeah. Well, actually, people started calling me the Lady Dragon after I did the Lady Dragon movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I did do that movie, it was interesting because, they said, "Oh, we want you to do a cameo and just play yourself." So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
And fight some
Yeah.
wrong uns, Dirty Dozen type, wasn't it? And it's yeah. Also, Yes, Madam was just dropped on Blu-ray in the UK. Yeah, Raw's last for everything. Yeah, that was your first film and Hong Kong film. So yeah, so you literally came from competitions and winning all these black belts and championships and everything, and then just turned up on the set.
Actually, I had a goal of when I was competing to be undefeated for 5 years, and then I wanted to quit competition because I figured it was a goal that nobody could beat. Because people say, "Oh, I'm 5-time champion." I could literally say I'm 150-time champion because I competed in 5 years 150 times. But you can't do that because you're like, that's ridiculous. But it's true. I was undefeated, and I said after 5 years I want to quit. And I did Yes, Madam during my 5th year of competition. We started in the summer, and I still had 6 months to go. So I would go to Hong Kong, I would film, I would fly to Minneapolis, compete in the Diamond Nationals, go back to Hong Kong, then later go to the Battle of Atlanta, come back until I finally was like, yes, okay, I did it. I'm done. My 5th year is done. And then I thought when I did Yes, Madam, I'd only be doing one movie. I thought, oh, this is like just a weird fluke. I'm going to be in a movie. How cool is that? Yeah. I didn't know that it would be a career. But since I finished competition, it's like, oh, wow, look at now I'm transitioning into film. So I think, we find our destiny, and it was definitely my destiny to do films because everything just kind of fell in place.
Very much. Right. Let's have a look. Yeah, the comedy for the Hong Kong films. Did you understand it when you watched the films back then, or did you think this is because sometimes it's very two-tone? It's like deadly serious, people are being killed left and right, and then they'll have a funny bit where people are doing something silly.
Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. Like I didn't see it until I saw the movie, but I remember. I think, yes, it was in Righting Wrongs when they killed the guy and they cut out the eyes from Bruce Lee and they put them on his eye. Yes, I saw that and I thought that was very funny. So some of it I understood, some of it I didn't.
Right, I think that's so far. So let's have a look. Dave says, outside of your movies, what is your favorite movie?
Oh,
that's a tricky question, isn't it?
So hard because I like so many movies. Oh my gosh, what is my favorite movie? Well, I don't know. I really can't say. I like so many, like from The Sound of Music to what did I just see that I really enjoyed? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't gone to the movie theater in a long time. I watch a lot on TV, but that's a tough one. I don't know because I like so many different kinds of films. I love comedy. I like the Borat movies. I know they're stupid, but I laugh at those. So I like Sacha Mitchell Cohen. I think that I like his comedy. Horror movies, like I love Dracula kind of movies, and dramas. I like a good drama like Titanic or, movies like that. So I have such a wide range of movies I like. It's really hard to pin down one. Very hard.
Tricky question. Yeah, we touched on this earlier with the stunts. So yeah, because in Hong Kong, safety wasn't the main concern.
Oh yeah, it definitely wasn't. I mean, I remember in the movie Righting Wrongs, in the opening scene, I'm coming down in a basket, right? Like being up on a couple stories high, and I'm coming down like that. Well, that basket didn't have a hole in it. It had a hole in it. I mean, it didn't have a bottom, and I was literally chained to the side by my ankle, but I had to like really brace myself. Oh, I like there's so many things. Even Lady Reporter, like Corey Yoon had me hanging from my leg on the window of the car with my head, with the tires spinning and them throwing sand in it, getting sand in my eyes and face. And they just had one guy laying on the floor holding my leg, bracing it against the window. I mean, there's so many stunts I did that are incredibly dangerous, you know. I definitely have to do that book and tell all those stories.
Oh, yes,
you don't see that on film, you know. Yeah. You can't even imagine.
Yeah, well, just from watching the film, I think, how the hell did she survive that?
Yeah. I thought when I was doing them, oh my gosh, this has to be my last Hong Kong movie because they're going to kill me in the next one. And then the movie would be finished and I'd see it on screen and I'd go, oh yeah, when's the next movie? When's the next movie? So went from I'm going to get killed to when's the next movie?
Yeah. There you go. Belle, massive fan of yours, grew up in your films. Please write a book. So next time you got a free weekend, there you go. You write your book. So yeah. Oh, Dracula.
Yeah, I love Dracula movies.
Al's a big Bat fan. Let's have a look. Make sure. Time it. All right. Let's see. Yeah. I think that's all my questions. So yeah, apart from her, who is Fu Lok Law?
Oh, it's Law Fu Lok.
I'm sorry, my pronunciation.
Yes, that was my Chinese name because they gave me a Chinese name, and it's funny because it was Law Fu Lok, Law Fu Lok.
Right.
What does it sound like?
Rothrock.
There you go.
All right, I'll just pop the link again for the Kickstarter in there, so if anyone wants to see it, they can certainly join up. So many of the, there's like so many levels of stuff that you're giving away, isn't it? Like signed Blu-rays by you and some of the cast and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, we have if you can support the movie, appreciate it so much. I mean, even like $1, it keeps the keeps us number one on Kickstarter for that. But we have great incentives from a digital copy of the film, like when it's released, because a lot of times, like if you're not in the United States, you might not get it for a year. It all depends on when the country buys it for distribution. So that's as low as $25 all the way up to being in the film fighting, with so many different packages in between. There's a mid-tier where you get a credit in the movie, a thank you, and so please check it out. It's just blackcreekmovie.com, and we have, I think, 17 more days. We're halfway there to our goal, and you could be part of the Black Creek family, which I would love for you to support. And I see everyone. I see who supports it, and I just really appreciate it from my heart that you believe in this project as much as I do, and you can be part of the Black Creek family.
All right, so I'll take one more or two more. Hang on, just the last couple of messages, and I'll let you go for the day. So,
Battle Creek, it's Black Creek. Battle Creek, but it's in the town.
We'll blame his spell check over that one, but yeah. Oh, and I guess that scores.
Not much, but I do remember I was in Indonesia and I was shooting Lady Dragon, and someone from the airport wanted to challenge me. I didn't know who they were. It was just a person there. And obviously, you got to try to back off from that because you don't want to be in a foreign country and someone throws something at you and then you hurt them and you end up in jail or something. So it's about the only time, and that was when I was first, doing the Lady Dragon pictures. But I think people, if they know who I am, they're more smart. They don't want to say, I want to challenge you.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't mess with you. So, we'll say our goodbyes now then. So, thanks for hanging out with us. Indeed, thank you very much, and can't wait for Black Creek. I'll continue to post this. And it's Andrew again. Thanks again. Good luck with Black Creek, indeed. So, yes, there we go. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you. And so thanks to everybody out there for the support.
Yeah, and we'll see you in the next film.
Yes.
Oh, hang on. We'll just say a few more goodbyes.
Okay.
Thanks for doing this.
Bye,
Two
everybody.
legends.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye.
All right. Well,
Bye.
Australia. All right then. Thank you, everyone. Good night, Cynthia. Good night, everyone.
Night.